When it comes to money, lots of people feel like they have a general understanding of the basics, but there are some subtle, small daily habits that could be costing you thousands of dollars. So here are 7 financial habits that you might be neglecting. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, financial habit number 1, juggling minimum payments. So just because you can maintain or pay the minimum payment doesn't mean you should, okay? And what I mean by this is people feel like if I can afford the payment, then I can afford the item. And it's not true, because over the course of time, you guys, if you add on so much debt to your life and you're just paying the minimum payments, you're not, number one, getting ahead, but you're paying interest, sometimes even fees if you're late, like all the things happen. So getting out of debt and freeing up those minimum payments and having no debt in your life is going to make your income go so much further. Now, I would say as you're getting out of debt, which I tell people to list their debt smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate, then you're going to pay minimum payments on everything while you pay off the smallest debt first. So that makes sense. But over time, those minimum payments and living that life, it's going to slowly drain your budget. All right, number 2, having tons of savings, but also tons of debt. So we talk to people all the time on the Ramsey show, and they call in and they're like, oh yeah, we have $14,000 in savings, but we have $23,000 in debt. And we're like, what? Like, throw that savings and get rid of your debt, because your debt you are paying interest on. And yes, could you be making interest on the money that's saved, maybe in a high yield savings account? Yes, but it's usually way lower of an interest that you're gaining in that way, making versus what you're paying out. And the level of risk is huge, because some people feel like that having a lot of savings and a lot of debt, they're okay because it kind of cancels each other out. But the truth is, if something happens and you lose your job or whatever, and that savings dwindles, then you're going to have the risk of all of this debt and all of these bills that have to be paid every month. So getting to a point where you can erase the debt and then be able to build up your savings, that's the way to go. Number 3, taking on a mortgage payment before you're ready. Oh, this is so hard, because a house is something that it's a big step for people, and they really want it. For a lot of people, like, I want to own a home, which I totally get, and I'm 100% for. I think owning a home needs to be part of your entire financial picture and your game plan long term. But people rush into it. And what happens is it not only adds stress, but you realize how expensive it is to be a homeowner. Like when things break and you have to take care of things and upkeep and all of it, it's all on you. And if you don't have a place where you are financially, like if you're not in a good place with your money, it's going to cause so much stress and more of a burden than a blessing. So I want you to be debt-free. I want you to have a fully funded emergency fund. And then I want you to have a good down payment. If you're a first-time home buyer, 5% is fine. But if you get up to 20%, which would be amazing, you can avoid PMI, which means you're not paying out as much in insurance, which is wonderful. But all of these things I think are really crucial to have a solid foundation for you as you become a homeowner. Otherwise, it just becomes honestly kind of like a barrel of fish hooks where you just are leaking money everywhere, because owning a home is expensive. And if you don't have the money for it, it's going to stress you out. All right, number 4, not staying on top of your insurance plan. So here's the deal. Insurance is one of these things that either you may not have enough and that's going to cost you, or maybe you have too much, or maybe you bought it and you never went and reevaluated like where you're at in life. So here's the deal. You could be overpaying when it comes to insurance. And we find that this is really common. And you could be paying and overpaying like hundreds of dollars a month. Like, it's pretty wild, because there's packages and bundles and all of it. There's an efficient way to have the insurance that you need at a good rate. And so if you want to relook at all of this, make sure to check out Ramsey Trusted, because there's a Ramsey Trusted agent near you that can actually go in and look at all of your insurance and make sure that you are exactly where you need to be from a coverage perspective, but also what you're paying. So if you want to check it out, you can go to ramseysolutions.com/insurance, or I'll put a link down below if you want to get connected. So it's scary how common this next one is. But first, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Fairwinds Credit Union. The holiday season should be about peace and not payments. And that is a big reason why I love Fairwinds Credit Union, because they help you reach your money goals without debts. With Fairwinds Smart Bundle, there is a no-fee checking account, high-yield savings to grow your emergency fund, and the exclusive Ramsey Be Weird debit card. I have mine. It's my favorite to put out. Like if we're out to eat, you throw it on. It's great. It's so great. So every time you swipe and you pull out that card, it is a reminder that you are doing your money differently. So go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey today to open up a smart bundle and grab your exclusive Ramsey Be Weird debit card. That's fairwinds.org/Ramsey. All right, another company that's doing amazing things on your behalf is Delete Me, because those holiday promos can be great, but with every newsletter sign up or coupon code that you fill out, you're giving your data away. And that personal info can easily end up on data broker websites, and that can add to the scammers and the spammers that are out there, and you don't want your info out there like that. So I recommend Delete Me. The Delete Me privacy team digs through hundreds of data broker sites to remove your data and keep it gone, which means fewer spammy texts and robocalls. So right now you can get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Rachel with code Rachel at checkout. So do it today. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel, code Rachel. All right, number 5 is a big mistake, not having a will. So regardless of your net worth, whether you own a home or not, everyone needs a will. Like you have something to your name and you need to be able to say what you want that money or those assets to be done. I was gonna say in case of your death, but we all die. So I guess when you die. Now, obviously, the more things you have, the more things you own, the more people in your life that you're responsible for, then it is much more important. I mean, honestly, having a will is so necessary. It's not fun. You can actually do one at mamabearlegalforms.com, and it's a state-specific will, but please do this because when you do it, it frees up, again, for your loved ones of what to do, the direction of what they need to do at your death, but also it puts the government not in the center of all of it because there's so much that can be involved, and we don't want them making decisions about your stuff. You want to take care of that for your loved ones. All right, habit number 6 is keeping a car payment in the budget. So we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but this idea if I can afford the payment, I can afford the item. And people do this all the time with cars. The average new car payment is over $700 a month, you guys. So if you think about that, if there's 2 new cars and you're getting on average $700 payments, that's $1,400 going to a car that's going down in value. It's one of the worst financial moves people can make. And people do it a lot, obviously out of necessity. Like I understand you need a car. Most people in America that they use it as a form of transportation. But making sure that you are driving a car that you can afford. Even if it's a $5,000 car and it's a crappy car, at least it's getting you from point A to point B and you can save up on the side, sell that, and then move up in car. But this idea of going and just, taking a loan out, because what happens is over, the next 5 years, even if you pay it off, once it's paid off, then it's like, okay, it's time for a new car. And you just go back into the payment cycle. And so don't do that because it is costing you so much money. Because if you actually invested that money from age 18 to age 60, an average car payment, it's millions of dollars, you guys. It's crazy. So get rid of the car payments. Don't do car payments. Number 7, the last one, and a very important one, is sitting out of the stock market. So we get calls a lot on the Ramsey Show of a lot of fear of people being like, okay, I'm scared to get in because I don't know what's going to happen. So this is an area, you guys, you have to educate yourself because when you actually look at the stats, you actually look at the numbers, you look at the track record of if you put money into the market and it's money that you have that you don't, you have an emergency fund and then I tell you to invest. So it's money that's out there for long-term gain. You're going to make so much money. You really are, from the interest rates and also the compound growth beyond that. And so don't just have your money sitting in a high yield savings account doing nothing. Have money in the market. And how to do that really is with retirement. So after you have paid off debt and you have a fully funded emergency fund, invest 15% of your income into retirement. And so that's your 401k, Roth IRAs. And within those accounts is where you're investing in good mutual funds or index funds to be able to get that growth. So sitting out of the market is a big mistake. So when the time is right for you financially, get in. Now, if you need to actually understand some of your numbers, because it can be kind of confusing, I would say to use Ramsey's investment calculator because you can plug in some numbers and it's really fascinating. So if you did this and you said, okay, I'm going to start at age 35, and if you took $600, which again is like basically a car payment for most people, and you invested it over time till you're 65 years old, again, it comes out to $1.3 million. And that's That's at 35. What if you did this at 25? I mean, it's crazy. So you're missing out if you are not investing. So remember, when you get out of debt, you stop paying interest. And when you start investing your own money, you're earning interest. And that's what we want. All right, small habits, you guys. These are small tweaks going along your financial journey, but it is so crucial to start with these small habits. Now, make sure to check out my episode, Why Being Boring is the Best Way to Build Wealth. You can click right here to check it out. Or if you're listening on podcasts, I'll put a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.